Welcome to the show, Community Connections. I'm your host, Rainbow Salas. And today we have an awesome guest. We have a guest who helps God's creatures make the world beautiful. And that's my wonderful friend, Jennifer Stevens, better known as JJ. Hey, honey, welcome to the show.
Hey, thank you. It's so great to be here with you today. You look amazing, as always.
That's all because I'm next to you, even though through Zoom, I still look good because you're around. So anyway, you are very talented. You do a lot of things. And show is for me, it's actually personally for me because I miss my friend. And I think everybody should know the things you do and how you help the world. Okay, the entertainment part of you. So let's start off with you telling us a little about yourself.
Oh my goodness. Well, I live in beautiful Madeira Beach, Florida right now. Yeah, I know. And of course it's, sunny and 72 here today because it's always, perfect weather. But I've moved around a lot. I'm a gypsy, so I've only actually been in Florida for about 5 years now.
Oh, okay.
And so before that, I was on a 42-acre farm in Kentucky that I bought on eBay, which was a whole other story in itself.
JJ, I did not know you bought a farm on eBay. Oh, how big?
I did. I bought 42 acres.
Right on eBay.
Yep, I did. I bought it on eBay. I was living in Pennsylvania one day and I was just not happy and it was cold all the time. I didn't have enough land to do all the things I wanted to do. And, I wanted horses because what girl doesn't want horses?
Hey, you got it.
And there was this ad on eBay for this beautiful piece of farmland in rural Kentucky. And I'm like, okay.
Got your name on it.
There we go. So it was a cattle farm and I bought it and it had nothing on it. I mean, nothing. So
it was just mainly just land?
It was just land. And I spent like the next 2 years living with a distant cousin whom I never met before.
And that's pretty distant.
And so I just ended up building the farm. I had to put in the water, the electric, the driveway, the ponds filled, had to put in the septic. I designed the house. I supervised the construction and then I lived there and it was like my own little paradise for
that's beautiful. So do you still have possession of this?
I do not. I actually sold it 2 years ago.
Did you resell it on eBay?
I did not. I actually did.
No, you didn't. Did you really? I was so joking.
It's so funny you say that because I went to real estate school, so I decided that I would sell it myself.
Oh, okay. You cut that you cut the middle person out, huh?
Yeah, I cut out the middle person because I'm like, I'm the one who did all the work. I want all the money. So I actually did end up selling it on eBay.
That's awesome. My beautiful friend with so many hats.
Yeah.
Now let's talk about the world of bees.
Oh, yes.
And tell me how it got started. What got you into it? What's the importance of it? This is going to be your show, and I want to listen, and I want our audience to listen because as my friend gave me more interest in bees, I know what bees do, but I never really looked at bees. But through your eyes, and they're amazing. Without them, we would not survive.
No, we would be terrible. Really wouldn't.
So tell us your first start in bees and
bees story.
Go ahead. Yeah.
Well, like I told you, when I was living in Kentucky, initially I had horses and I ran like unofficially, I ran a horse rescue. And what that means is that everybody just basically dropped their horses off on my farm when they couldn't take care of them.
Yeah.
But that's a whole other story. And, horses are really expensive. I mean, really expensive. Oh, yeah. And eventually, it just wasn't sustainable, but I had all this land and I loved wildflowers and I just planted, 30 acres and everything but wildflowers. And I was like, what can I have here at the farm? I don't want a business, but what can I have here at the farm? And so I started looking into bees.
Oh, wow.
And there was a local bee club called the Buzz Club, and I
the Buzz
Club, and I went to a few meetings, and I visited a couple apiaries, and I was like, I got to do this. This looks like so much fun. And I found out that my grandfather had been a beekeeper in Kentucky. No way. And I ended up inheriting his smoker, which is super cool. And he never used any protective gear and equipment. He just basically you know, was super zen, and
Right,
you know,
right.
you just go in with the right attitude and just move nice and slow, and you really chill with the
Yeah, yeah.
bees. They won't hurt you. So I wanted to give it a shot. And
Uh-huh.
so I ended up with a huge bee yard in Kentucky.
At
And
your Kentucky farm.
that was my Kentucky, right? And so my farm was named Bad Daddy after my father. And so
Just name what?
Bad
Bad
Daddy.
Daddy.
Yeah, so he's Bad Daddy. So that's what I
My
call him.
daddy bad to the bone. That's
My daddy
bad
is so
daddy.
bad. And so I ended up, my apiary was called Bad Daddy Bees.
Right.
And, you know, so I would harvest the honey, and then I had all this beeswax left over, because
Yeah.
when you're harvesting the honey, you do what's called uncapping, and you take off the little tiny caps, and you end up with just piles of all this beeswax. And I'm like, maybe I should do candles. Should I do lotion? So I started down the path of making bee balms. And the very first year that I did it, I think I might have made like 25.
Right.
And now I make like 300 to 500 a year.
Wow,
So
is it the best? Look at that. Oh, I love that. I like need rehab when I don't have that.
yeah, and
That
it's
is
just a hobby. It's not a
right. Yes.
business.
And that's the most wonderful part of you. I remember down at the restaurant when you first introduced me to that. I was like,
Yeah.
oh man, I gotta market this. Where we gonna start selling this? She said,
No.
this is a gift from her and the bees.
Yeah, it is. It
Yeah.
really is. It's about sharing the bee love. And
Oh
it's
yeah.
there's just so many amazing things in a beehive that are just so
Oh
good
yeah.
for us and our bodies and the environment. And everybody just loves the bee balm.
Right.
And there was a very good friend of mine, and she was battling cancer. And when
Mm.
she would go and get her chemo treatments, her lips would burn.
Right, right.
And she started using my orange oil bee balm, and it's immediately stopped the burning in her lips. So she had me make a
Wow.
whole bunch of
God
it
bless
for
her.
all of
Yeah.
her fellow cancer
Hey,
patients.
oh.
And so I sent a huge shipment there. And so all the ladies and the men would use the lip balm after their
Right.
chemo treatments, and their lips didn't burn.
Get
So
that smooth. That's good. And you
it's a
also jar
miracle.
up honey.
Yes, I do. I do. See, I have a little jar of honey
Look at
with our
that.
little here with our little Mad Beach bees.
Ah, man.
You know, we're not Bad Daddy bees anymore. So
Right.
now
Yeah.
we're Mad Beach bees for Madeira
That,
Beach.
oh
So
yeah. Oh yeah. So
yeah.
tell us the process. Do you go in like your grandfather with nothing? You go in chill, cool, collected,
You
or are you
know,
covered up? We do have clips, but as
yeah.
we're doing this at Zoom, we're gonna speak about it and then we insert so the viewers can get a better
Yeah.
look at what this actually you do. But verbally tell us how you start your day with the bees.
Well, so when I was in Kentucky, I didn't wear any protective gear. I find that the Florida bees are a wee bit more temperamental. Now, when I first started, my very first beehive in Florida was actually in my backyard in St. Petersburg. I live just north of downtown St. Petersburg.
Right, right.
And my fiance Frick, whom you know very well,
You mean my brother?
yeah, brother Frick, yes,
that
he,
guy I thought I would see today.
oh, he's amazing. But he knew how much I missed my bees. So when we were together for the first birthday that we had as a couple, he bought me a beehive.
No way.
And it didn't have the bees in it. You have to get the bees separately.
Yeah,
But so I set it up in my backyard in St. Pete. And so I think that clip that you have is me inspecting my hive for the first time. And yeah, I was just in shorts and a tank top and bare feet.
Right.
You know, the bees are just super chill because there's different kinds of honeybees, and they have different temperaments, you know. But the Florida bees definitely seem to be a little bit more temperamental. So I do suit up now from head, because I've been stung way too many times, and I do not want to experience that anymore.
Right. So where do you get the bees from, honey?
So you can actually, you mail order bees. So, I mean, there's a couple of different ways. When you're first starting out, you can order bees from an apiary. And so I've gotten bees from Georgia. I've gotten bees from Lancaster County, Pennsylvania. I've gotten bees from Texas. And they actually ship them through the U.S. Postal Service. And so sometimes the mailman does not enjoy that. He does not enjoy it.
How do they come?
So they come in a crate.
Right.
And they, you know, they're able to breathe, and they're screened around them.
Very protective.
Yes.
Very
so they're protected, but they're not completely enclosed.
Right.
And the queen will come with them, and she'll be in this little tiny cage.
Separate,
Yeah, she'll be separate, and they'll have a few little attendants because the queen can't feed herself. I don't know if you knew
Exactly.
that, but the queen cannot feed herself. So she has to be fed by her little, attendants. And
By her, because she's the queen now.
she is the queen, right? She has to be taken care of. So she arrives in a little packet, and then
Right.
you put him, in the hive. You put him in the
Uh-huh.
brood box, and then from that point forward, the rest is history.
So everybody follows the queen. But I did
Yes.
not know the queen couldn't feed herself. Why is it that?
No.
Why is that?
Well, because she actually doesn't have the ability to consume food. Like
Okay.
she's a very different creature than the regular worker bees.
That's
And
why she's the queen, right?
yeah, she's actually created through an entirely different process. But
Right.
at any given time, the hive can create new queens. At
Oh,
any
really?
given time. Yeah, they can make
Look.
them. They make the new queens.
No
So
way.
so if
They
the existing
develop their own new queens.
they make their own queens. So what they do is they take a cell that has a regular worker bee in it, and then they start to feed it royal jelly, which is one of the very special substances that a bee can excrete.
Right.
They make wax. They can excrete, the nectar, that which turns into honey, etc. They can make royal jelly, and they feed this little baby bee the royal jelly, and it actually transforms it
Into the queen?
a queen, which are
That's pretty
larger,
awesome, man. Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
And of course, the queen's job is to do nothing but lay eggs.
Right. And the bees protect her through life and
Bees
death, right?
protect the queen, and she uses pheromones to signal the workers as to what to do. If she needs comb cleaned out, they cleaned out. If she wants more honey, she wants more pollen, whatever she tells them to do, they do.
That reminds me of that reminds me of a beautiful human I know.
Yeah. I wish I had that much power, but I can tell you one thing: I do not want to lay 1,500 eggs a day. That is not my thing.
So, what's the longevity of the queen? Is it a certain time that?
Yeah, so anywhere from 3 to 5 years. So a regular worker bee will only live about 5 to 7 weeks, but a queen has a life expectancy of about 3 to 5 years. But she's not always, a top producer during that time.
Right. Yes.
So usually after about 2 or 3 years, the hive will decide, you know what?
Start developing.
Great, but we need a new queen.
Is that when they start developing? Wow.
Yeah.
Well, that's pretty interesting. So tell me, excuse me, tell our viewers about the making of the honey. You got the bees, you got your hive, put that queen in there, and then everybody just go to work.
Oh, it does. So in a hive, when you're talking about an apiary, if you're a beekeeper, you have what's called a Langstrom box, and that has a series of frames in it. And that's called your brood box. And that's where the queen lays her eggs and they do their thing. Right. So when your hive gets strong enough and you want to have honey to harvest, you add what's called a honey super, SUPER, honey super on top. And you put this little grate in between them. It's called a queen excluder, and she's too fat to get up through there. Okay. So she can't lay any eggs up there. So the only thing that the worker bees can do is fill that up with nectar, which eventually becomes honey.
Right.
So the whole box, and it's got 10 frames in it, and the whole box is dedicated to nothing but the bees filling up those cells with nectar and then capping it when it becomes honey. And that's what we harvest.
Oh, wow. What you have something to show us, don't you?
I do. So this is an example of some comb. So a lot of most of the frames that we use are called foundation frames. They have a plastic base on them with the hexagons, and the little bees build up the comb. But every once in a while, like if you want some honeycomb, like for your charcuterie board or whatever it is, we'll use what's called an open frame. And then the bees just build. So this is what the comb looks like naturally. So if they're just in the wild, they're a feral hive, they just build out this gorgeous comb. And it's a work of
beautiful
art.
Yeah,
it's beautiful. And we found this in the hive, and I just thought it was a work of art. And I was like, you know what, I don't want them to fill this up with honey. I actually just want to take this out so that we can show
people. You want that beautiful God's
Yeah,
beautiful artwork, right? So
yeah, it really is.
tell us the real importance of a bee. What happens? What happens if bees do not do their thing?
So a lot of people don't know this, but honeybees are not native
Yes.
to North America. They
Right.
were actually brought over in the 17th century by European settlers because they are indigenous to the European continent, to the African continents, etc.
Right, right.
So they brought them over, and so that they could grow the kind of crops here in the US that they were growing there. So honeybees are not native, but since they've been brought over, there's 100 commercially grown crops in the
Oh,
United
wow.
States of America that is basically, the foundation of our food supply, our
Yes,
food
yes.
supply, that these European honeybees are responsible for pollinating. And
Mhm.
if they die out, we can't grow those crops anymore, because while we do have over 4,000 natural pollinators in North
Right,
America,
right.
like wasps and hornets and other types of bees, etc., the European honeybee is the one that pollinates these crops, like your orange groves, for
Yeah,
example.
we talking our fruits,
Yes, fruits,
all our
vegetables, yes,
vegetables. So that,
tobacco.
yeah, without
Tobacco is
that pollen, we
Mhm.
like, so they are very important to our
They're very
ecological
important.
system.
Yes, they're
Yes,
very
yeah,
important. And your commercial citrus groves,
yes.
they actually will hire, apiaries to bring hundreds of hives on the backs of flatbed trailers in the spring, and they just drive them into the grove and
Right.
let the bees, do their
Do
work,
the
and they
thing, yeah.
pollinate it, and that's how they produce the fruit.
Ah, that's beautiful. So everybody learn bees are very important. And
They're very
don't,
important.
because I
Yes,
know sometimes they have a law like up north, they have something called no mow May. They don't want you to mow the grass too soon
yes,
because of the bees are doing
yes.
the thing. Yeah,
Right.
that's a wonderful story of bees. I'm quite sure there's a lot of people who kind of know, but really don't know.
No, and it's been fun to educate our neighbors, because we have our beehives on our rooftop.
Yes.
And some people notice them and some people don't, but when they do notice, they have so many questions. And ever since we've had the bees in the neighborhood for the past few years, everybody's fruit trees that never had fruit on them before started growing fruit. So they're lemon trees, they're orange trees, they're lime trees.
Hey, like we like them neighbors with the
Oh
bees.
my gosh. Yeah. So, I had neighbors up the street, and she had this amazing vegetable garden. And she was like, ever since your bees moved into the neighborhood, I have more than I know what to do with. And they were always in her
That's
garden.
awesome. So
Yeah.
so is Mr. Frick all enjoying the bee? Did you take him to bee school?
He's obsessed. He's absolutely obsessed with the bees. And he's such a great beekeeper too.
Is he really?
Yes, and
Good.
he's added this element, from an engineer, because he's an engineer by
Right,
training.
right. Yeah.
And so he keeps track of everything in spreadsheets, which I never would do. And so I was like, when was the last time we harvested? Right? Yeah, spreadsheets. He has a record of every single queen, and when we harvested, what did it taste like, how much did we get, what was the temperature that day. I mean, he's
nothing
just,
like them engineers, right?
he's all over it, right?
So
And-
what else been going in your lovely world? I hear you're pretty light on your feet.
Oh.
So can we talk a little, if you don't mind, can we talk a little bit about that?
We can. Are you referring to my ballroom dancing habit?
Oh, we're talking ballroom.
Yeah.
Tell us about that adventure. What got you twirling, swirling and twirling, huh?
Well, when I moved to Kentucky all those years ago, I guess it was 2006 is when I moved into the farm. I was by myself. I didn't know anybody. I didn't have any friends. And
That sounds like a beautiful
That's
movie.
good.
That sounds like a beautiful movie. This beautiful woman on all this land all by herself.
Well, thank you. I appreciate that. No, it's just me, my dog, and the coyotes. And so I was like, I need to socialize. And
Yeah.
I always love to dance, even though I'm really horrible at it, because I am literally the most clumsy human being on the planet.
Oh, that'll
I'm
be up for the viewers to see because I got clips coming. With
You
that
got
little
clips
dress,
coming.
with that
No.
little dress spinning at the bottom.
Rainbow, I will trip over chunky air. Like, I am
What
really
you said.
clumsy. So I thought, well, I'm going to give it a shot. How many bones can I break? Right. And So I started taking lessons at my local community arts center. They had a couple nights a week where they would, teach basic ballroom, and I just became obsessed.
Oh, awesome.
Yeah, so I absolutely love it. So I've been doing it ever since 2006.
And Frick has joined the ballroom dancing also, huh?
Rick has joined, and that's kind of a cute story because when we started dating, and I was going to the dance studio 2 or 3 nights a week for various group lessons and private lessons and dance parties, whatever. And I'm like, Frick, come with me. He's like, no, I'm not doing this.
I can't see my brother doing that until I did see him doing that.
No. So he's not interested.
With the stars.
Right. And so this went on for like months. And be like, hey, just come with me. No, I'm not coming with me. But then there was a video posted online of me dancing with a very tall, very fit, very incredibly handsome man.
Oh.
And all of a sudden, Frick is like,
his manly came out and he was like, that's my woman. I'll be twirling her around.
Yeah. And so he ended up at the studio, and as it turns out, he's an amazing dancer. So
oh yeah. That's awesome, honey. So what my family's travels been? Is there a new boat or something?
There is a new boat.
So this is what is it, honey? What guys is it?
Rainbow, I was like, I got freaking to beekeeping and I got freaking to dancing, but he got me hooked on sailing.
He got you in the sailing.
Yeah. Oh, so he grew up on the coast of Virginia, and he's been sailing since he was like 14 or 15 years old.
It's in the blood.
Yes, yes. And he is, I mean, my gosh.
He's a great captain.
A most amazing captain. He is a genius when it comes to navigation.
Right.
Genius when it comes to problem solving. He knows all the rules of the water and then some. And
and that is so important, right? You just don't buy a big, powerful vessel like that and go, I'm gonna take it out.
I don't know how he manages to have so much knowledge in his head. And it really is an art. And, it's the weather, it's the winds, it's the tides, it's the water temperature, and a million of things, can go wrong. And believe me, as we've been sailing together, there hasn't been a single time where we haven't been out on that boat where something is going wrong. Something is going wrong.
And my brother got the spreadsheets for everything. He gonna figure it out. Is he the MacGyver of selling?
He is. He is. Like we blew some clips on our mainsail the last time we were out because we did an inadvertent jive, which means the sail whips around and all of a sudden the wind catches it and it went like pop, 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 pop. And I'm like, oh my God, I'm freaking out. I'm like, how are we gonna get home? What are we gonna do?
Why are you killing me?
Oh my God.
I need to get these tears out of my eyes, man.
Oh my God.
You're cracking me up.
I'm freaking out. And he's like, it's okay. And the next thing you know, he busts out his big needle and his nylon thread, and he's like stitching up the sail. And,
straight out of TV.
Oh my gosh. He's like, don't worry, baby. I got this.
You look at it like, that's my man.
Right?
That's my guy. That is my MacGyver.
I have to say, he is very sexy when he's at the helm. There's no doubt about that.
Now, I know before I left home and went on the new journey, you had just picked up an older car, right?
Oh, my Mustang, yeah.
Yeah, how's that baby doing?
Oh, he's doing fine. He's one of the only male classic cars. His name is Buster. He's a 71 Mustang convertible.
Ooh,
that's
a girl. The girls got their own daddy car, huh?
Yeah. And it did come from my father. So my father bought it.
Wow.
Gosh, like 10, 15 years ago. And every time I would go to Pennsylvania, I would just like drool all over it. Like, please, Daddy, please, I've never asked you for anything. Please, please.
Give me that car.
So for my 45th birthday,
excuse me?
Finally, like,
what did you say?
My 45th birthday.
I can't seem to hear you.
What does that mean?
45th. You look like you're about 20.
Yeah, thank you. No, I am 51. I am 51 years old.
Well, you look better than a fine glass of wine, honey.
Oh, thank you. You're sweet. It's all makeup and lighting. It's all good lighting.
Is that B-bomb?
It's the B-bomb. Exactly. So anyway, I was finally able to get away. He handed me the title, and I thought I was just
man.
So now it's here in Florida. and it's
You
my
and
daily driver. I drive it
you,
every day.
you and your girls be on it? Is it just for you and your girls?
It's no, every once in a while I'll take Frick out if he
You
wants
think
to.
you give them a little ride?
You know, Rainbow, I gotta tell you, people make fun of me because I drive like a grandma. I mean, I do not.
See, you got that fancy muscle car. You're driving like a Floridian.
I drive like a grandma. I really, really do. And it drives Frick crazy. He's like, punch it, come on, let those ponies run, you know? And I'm just like, no.
That is super sweet, honey. You are super beautiful. Your
Oh,
words and education for the viewers and mine also about bees is awesome. Just
thank
a friendship talk of you have made my day. If I want anything for Christmas, this is the best gift I could ever.
Oh, you're so sweet. No.
Then you like your parties? Tell us about some of them parties, girl.
Oh my gosh. Yeah. So I mean, we just love to socialize.
And who is that gourmet cook at your house?
It's Frick. He's the guy. He's the guy. You know, so a lot of people don't know this about him. His mother came from Germany. So she is straight from Germany, and his family they ran a German restaurant together for
because he got some skills.
Yeah, like the school bus when he was 5 years old used to drop him off at the restaurant. So we'd go to kindergarten and he'd have to wash dishes at the restaurant for the rest of the night. The poor kid. I'm sure they violated like a million child labor laws. Yeah, exactly.
But look how the little fella turned out, though.
I know he is the spice master. Like I've never known anyone who can combine spices the way that he can, and I try so hard to outcook him, but it's just impossible. But the one thing I'm really good at is plating. I can outplate him any day. So he cooks the food and I make it look.
That's right. You say that you the showcase.
Yeah. But he's a better cook. He's way better.
Yeah. Well, I tell you, this has been very delightful and very warm to my heart. It is for the viewers, but I am not gonna lie, it's probably more for me. Thank you for your presentation. Thank you for your friendship. Thank you for the tears in my eyes. I would love you as family to the end of time.
I love you too.
And I will head back and you might have to come with us, man. I'm gonna bring Will down. We all gonna hang out.
Come on down. We'll suit you up. We'll put you in a couple bee suits. We'll get you in the hive. And anybody who helps us gets a jar of honey. So
we all about it. But for now, I love you and thank you for your time because I know you're a busy young lady and I appreciate you. And we'll do this again. So for now, great. My beautiful JJ, kisses and hugs.
Love you, Rainbow. I miss you, and I
can't wait to see you. You know that's right.
Big hugs.
From Community Connection, I'm your host, Rainbow Salas, and I hope you enjoyed our beautiful show today. Look forward to doing more, and I look forward to really seeing you. Have a